Hello and welcome again to episode 6 of Dave and Confused.
What
This, ep-
up?
this episode, we have another one of the homies straight out of the Fresno / Bakersfield / LA comedy scene. Please give a warm welcome for Austin Bovee. Oh man, how you doing?
Thanks. I'm surprised I could be here. It's pretty tough getting over here to the dining table.
You're so busy these days.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm just swamped. These shows. They're so far.
Just the Zoom shows. It's just a pain in the
Yeah,
ass to get it all set up.
yeah. Living on the road, man. Doing virtual mics from people. On the East Coast. Oh, geez. Oof.
So we're here live and direct with the Prince of Hollister.
Fuck you, bro.
Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Let's talk about the origins of Austin Bovee. Where'd you grow
Yeah,
up? Places you
yeah.
lived?
So I was born in Alameda, which is, the little island right next to Oakland. I was born there, lived there, till I was like 3 or some shit. Then we moved all the way out to Stockton.
Ooh,
And yeah, my
exotic.
brother, oh yeah, exotic. My brother was born out in Stockton and stuff. My parents got a divorce out there. After that, my mom moved to Salinas. So I lived in Salinas from like preschool all the way till like 8th or 9th grade. And then I moved to Hollister, California,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Yeah. And you know what's funny about Hollister growing up is I'd be like online, playing Xbox or whatever. And I'd tell people where I'm from because I'm a 13-year-old boy who is like asking to get fucking abducted. Uh, they'd always be like, "Oh my God, Hollister, like the clothing company? How many famous people live there?" You're like, "I don't know, man. It's just a lot of fucking tweakers, but I guess they're kind of famous to me because damn, they're fucking crazy." But Hollister is a weird little. It's an agricultural town, man. It's like right outside it's like Central Coast, Bay Area, like, but also kind of Central Valley. I don't know. It's a weird town.
My first thought was like it's in like the OC or something because that had the little seagull on it, right? That was their logo.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just because there's like I think a Hollister Beach, and I think it's in Santa Monica, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, so that's it. That's all it is. But
Fucking,
no. One time I saw the seagull when I was walking to like school. One time I saw the seagull in one of the dumpsters in town, and I was like, maybe that's where they got it from. It's the fucking sanitation district.
the only seagull I've ever seen in Hollister. That's they must have seen that one too.
Yeah, we get more condors than seagulls, man.
Hey, they're
And that's
endangered.
real. Yeah, that is actually real. We live right next to Pinnacles National Park. But
That means a lot more if
anyway,
you see a condor. That means conservation. They're working.
yeah, those ugly fucks. I don't care. Like, dude, they're disgusting little dinosaurs. Huge dinosaurs. Well, I'm not saying we should exterminate them, okay? I'm just saying they're fucking ugly, okay?
Giant
Just because
vultures.
something's ugly doesn't mean we have to exterminate it. I'm not saying that. I'm not getting into all that. Anyway,
I am.
uh,
I'm just kidding.
no. After I graduated from high school, though, I moved down to Fresno. Actually, I lived there for about 6 months, and then after that, I moved down to Pasadena, and that's where I started, going to college and working. And then it's also where I started doing comedy originally. When I was 20, I first started. I was 2014. I did it for like 6 or 8 months or something, but I would go up like every single fucking night. I would just do it constantly. It was like the only thing I thought about. But I had to give it up because I had to finish college, and that shit got more serious, and then work and whatever. And then I didn't get started again until 2018. And at that point, I had already moved out of LA. I had just moved to Bakersfield, and I was done with school and I was just working, and I was like super fucking bored, and I was like, oh wait, that's right, that this whole time I've been wanting to do comedy again. So
When
I literally went to my first open mic again on on Halloween 2018. I started doing comedy again, and I got up with the same 5 minutes that I did on my last. I had done a couple showcases in LA in 2014, and I had about a solid 5 minutes set up. And my first mic back, and 4 years later or whatever, I did the same exact 5 minutes, and it's just been, I've just kept going since then.
just didn't even skip a beat, just kept chugging along.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of cool being able to go into a new scene with like 5 minutes of like actually develop stuff, and not be a total new guy, and it was definitely nice. Because I never had to be treated like oh, who's this fucking dude, whatever. So that was cool.
Tell us a
But
little bit. Tell us a little bit more about the first time you went up. Kind of your emotions going through that. What made you want to do
dude,
it?
so yeah, my first time going up was horrible. Like my first like 8 times going up were just not good. They were not good at all. I was trying to tell like this really long story. I was like trying to, I don't know. It was like I don't know. Like looking back now, it's like I don't know where the jokes were. I don't know. Like it was just a funny kind of
Just
story.
ranting.
Yeah, kinda. And eventually it just kind of clicked where I was like, oh wait, that's right. I think of funny tweets and like Facebook statuses and stuff. I should just try to write jokes like I would one of those. And sure enough, I started doing it that way, and it started working. Obviously not. I would still bomb my ass off all the time, but I started to figure out like what worked and what didn't work. But it honestly took me like 2 months, like about 2 months to like really figure out like, oh, okay, so this is how I should be trying to do it. And it's not even, when you're that new into it, it's not like those jokes are any good. It's just you're finally figuring out like, oh, this is how I want to say it. This is how I want to build it up. This is where I want to take it. And that's honestly the hardest thing to get through, like, because so many people just go up, and the people who do good their first time typically are thinking that that's how it's going to go every time, and then it doesn't go that way, as you know. Like,
Oh, yeah.
even if you have the best jokes in the world, dude, it doesn't go great every time.
Everyone bombs, yeah.
Yeah, and it's definitely, you see so many people just they can't handle that, so just like after the second or third time they bomb, they're just out forever, and you're like, all right, well, that was a cool second to see that. And the people, like, because I run an open mic, I do all these things for my local scene, and it's cool to see like all these new comics come out, and like they'll suck or whatever, but then like they'll keep coming, and they'll eventually have that like one moment where it's like, oh, they got a real laugh from everybody, and it was like you see them like, oh, that's what they want, and they'll keep coming back for fucking ever. So it's cool.
You can like see it in their face. Like if you
Oh
like a situation like that, like the first big laugh, like it's like their eyes just light up, and it's like
yeah, or you see the
you can
people who
grow
get
up.
their first real bomb, and their eyes just die. Like, dude, you just see this look on them where they no longer want to be on stage, but they're
Oh,
also not going to be the guy who gets off early. So they power through it, but then, dude, you don't see them again for like a month, and then even then, it's like they come out every so often.
their eyes are just screaming like, "Get me out of here!" But it's
Yeah,
like I got
exactly.
another 3.5 minutes. Like fuck. Tell us.
Well, oh yeah, no, it's just you want to tell them like, hey dude, like you have to not embrace bombing, but you have to, like, if you're bombing, just that's what's going on, like either address it or just get used to it. Like, I don't know, like,
It's part of the process, really.
yeah, like just either keep trying new jokes, and that's like, dude, that's totally fine. You're gonna bomb your whole set, but at least you're seeing if anything works. Or if you don't want to bomb, you could address it, make it funny that you're bombing. Like,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
so you know, you try and you want to tell them that, but they have to figure it out for themselves. You know.
Tell us a little bit about your early comedic influences. Is there a certain guy or girl that made you want to start, or you kind of framed your style around it all?
You know, I it sucks for me because I get compared to a comedian a lot, and I don't necessarily enjoy it
Ellen
because
DeGeneres?
you're hilarious, you fucking dick. No, Theo Vaughn. People always
Oh
tell me
yeah.
that I remind them of Theo Vaughn or whatever, and I don't. That sucks because I've never really even seen a stand up. You know, I've never watched Theo Vaughn. And so that one sucks because for me growing up, like Louis C.K., one of the funniest jokes I ever heard as a kid, I was in my dad's car. We were listening to Sirius XM, you know, and Louis C.K. had this bit about him coming home to find his daughter laying like naked spread eagle on the floor, you know, just like screaming some random shit or something. And as a kid, I was like, that's so fucking funny. And I always just like thought about it. I was like, you know, that's always what's made me laugh the most is when people talk about like things that they can visualize or things that that you can connect to, you know.
Yeah.
So that's always been like the style of comedy I've always tried to model myself after would probably be Louis C.K. But other than that, like George Carlin, as much as I hate to say it, Carlos Mencia really played a huge part in me wanting to get in comedy because, you know, I just really liked one of his specials as a kid, man, and I liked Mina Mencia and stuff like that.
So you just stole a bunch of jokes your first couple of months in comedy?
No, dude, I'm from Salinas, man. It's what everyone else is watching. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, dude. I was a George Lopez guy, so
Oh yes,
rivals.
George Lopez.
I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
George Lopez was a big one, but honestly, besides like Louis and George Carlin, the biggest one I would say, probably Nick Swardson, because as a kid, I'm sure you and I are the
Oh
same age,
yeah.
right, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, his whole wolf pussy bit. Remember that special?
Oh yeah.
Like where he shoots himself with a t-shirt cannon, like that. Growing up in high school, that was the funniest fucking special I had ever seen in my life.
And it was so different than everything else.
Yeah,
He's such a
exactly.
weird character, yeah.
I think it was our first, like, I think that's why so many of us are kind of alt comics now, is because that's more so what we grew up with, is like just this weirdness of like, you know, these fucking comedians just doing the most bizarre shit. Like, I still appreciate George Carlin and Louis C.K. and stuff, but fuck, dude. Some of Dane Cook's stuff really made me laugh as a kid.
Yeah. all the mainstream stuff, and then you had like Swartzen popping up. You had like, I guess Eric Andre isn't really stand up, but weird shit like
I
that.
mean, the Andre, you know, the Eric Andre show I got into, but that was like when I was in comedy, like for the first time in 2014. So that one that didn't really influence me that much.
A weird like sketch comedy group that influenced me a good amount was Stella. You ever heard of them?
Sounds familiar.
It's like three guys from New York: Michael Showalter, Michael Ian Black, and David
Yeah,
Waynes.
yes.
And that's, if you want to watch some weird shit, just YouTube Stella and
No,
enjoy.
I liked Michael Ian Black, but he was never really my cup of tea, you know.
All those videos were pre VH1. Then he got mainstream.
Yeah. When he was on every single I Love the
I
'80s,
love
I
the
love
'80s.
yeah, like goddamn. No, yeah, that's, you know, pretty much comedians who influenced me. That's about it. You know, obviously I've seen, like, my parents grew up watching comedy, so I grew up watching it. My dad drove, you know, to pick me and my brother up. We'd have to meet him and they'd meet a meeting spot, and we'd have to drive like, hours with my dad. My dad had a job where he'd drive around, and we'd go to work with him and shit. And the whole time we'd just be listening to comedy on the radio and shit like that. And I think that's where a lot of it comes from, is I love the idea of making people laugh, and, finding out that anybody can do it, really. Not anybody can make people laugh, but anybody can get up and be on stage and do that. It's I ever since I did, I don't think I'll ever stop doing comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just because I've known you before, I've known you for a while now. Going back to your dad, I think you told me once you wanted to do comedy because you didn't want to do the family business of tarantula fighting, which that's what your dad was doing at the time.
That was when he was the best dad, dude. All right. I'm not gonna give away a joke on a podcast, but
don't do it.
Yeah. So no. My dad growing up was a fucking character, man. Honestly, one of like the biggest inspirations for a lot of the shit I do. My dad was the guy who, when I was like 14, I asked him, I was like, what are mushrooms like? And then he was like, well, they're fucking dope, dude. If you're gonna do them, let me know. And like stuff like that. My dad was the first one to ever show me how to take a hit out of like a pipe, like for weed, and then drink a beer and then blow out the fucking smoke after.
Yeah.
Like my dad was my worst influence. Like, how parents like warn you about your friends with bad influences? Like my parents were those.
I think he just cared about you a lot, because there's something to be said about that mantra of like, if you're gonna do it, fucking do it with me, No.
My dad's mantra, like, and he'll swear by this, is when we were kids, my dad's mantra was like, look, I'm not a very good dad. Okay. I understand that. But when you're 18, I will be your best friend.
I'm just counting down the days until you're a legal adult.
Dude, he just didn't like kids. He liked having like kids, but he didn't want us to be kids. He wanted us to just be full on adults and shit. Like, I remember as a kid, we would, my sister would watch like Disney movies, and my brother, like my two brothers and me, would try and like go in and watch them with him, and he'd be like, no, you're not doing that. No, you're not watching Disney movies. Like, dude, he didn't let us be kids,
You're gonna watch NCIS Miami with me.
No, you put on like Smokey and the Bandit. Like I watched that shit when I was like 7. Or Wet Hot American Summer. I watched that shit when I was like 5 years old, and there's this gay sex scene, and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
That reminds me.
It was so sexually confusing to me as a child.
Yeah, you're 7 years old. You're just like, these graphic images fuck up your life.
Dude, I don't know if you've seen that sex scene. It's in like a barn.
I haven't.
Dude, it is not okay for a child to be watching.
That reminds me, I must have been like maybe the same age, and my grandma was babysitting me, my two brothers, and my two boy cousins.
Right.
And it's one of those things like, oh, we'll go to Blockbuster, we'll get you guys a movie. So we go, and my older brother, who's like a year older than me, shout out Dan.
Shout out Dan.
He convinces my grandma to rent Scary Movie 1. And we're like 7 or 8. So it's like, I got to rewatch it, see how bad it was. But I just remember there was like 5 or 6 times throughout the movie that she would like turn around to us like, are you sure your parents let you watch this? And we're just like, yeah, all the time. Yeah. All the time. So,
yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to go back to your dad.
No, yeah, I was going to expand on dude, my dad, Scary Movie 1, whatever. My dad, we went to, I was like, super young. I don't know. My brother was even younger because he's 2 years younger than me. But he took us to the movie theater to go see the original Jackass, Oh, yeah. And I was super fucking little. It was like 2001 when that shit came out. So I was like 7.
He's probably watching it like, fuck yeah, we're going to watch this shit. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, no, and the lady selling us the tickets told my dad, she was like, I don't think this is appropriate at all for children. And then my dad was like, I don't care what you think. I'm buying 3 tickets.
Mind your fucking business and take my money.
Yeah, so no, my dad's he's never given a shit. Oh, and then when only one movie he ever saw that he didn't know we watched, and he watched it and was like, okay, we need to have a fucking talk, was Team America World Police. During the sex puppet
the
scene
scissor
shit. Yeah.
fucking doll sex
Yeah.
part.
Dude, yeah, he had to actually have a sit down conversation with all of us and was like, yo, I don't know about this movie.
Even though it's not real, it's fucking dolls. This is worse than any movie we've ever seen with real people.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing that he was telling us, he was like, your mom and I don't have sex like that, right? Like we don't do that stuff.
I love talking to my parents about their sex position.
Dude, my mom is single. That is the last thing I want to hear about.
Oh, so going back to your dad, you are French because of him. Is that correct?
Yeah, obviously with the last name.
You get tired of people mispronouncing your name so much that you got the tattoo, right? Let's show everyone
Yeah.
now. There he is.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. And there you go. It's an E with an accent mark over it. I was 18 when I got that. Surprise, surprise.
It's edgy.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely screams I can legally get a tattoo now, so I'm gonna get one.
But being French, does that mean you can only take like half the amount of showers as a normal person, or?
Surprisingly, yeah, that's actually true. Every other day. Otherwise, it gets weird, dude.
Were you pulling for them in the World Cup?
Yes, actually.
That's the best when like a team's really good in soccer and that's your nationality, so you get the pass to root for them.
What's your nationality?
I am Irish, English, and Dutch.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense with Whittemore. Yeah, that sounds so like that little island up there.
fucking Netherlands, baby. We used to be good at soccer. But
Well,
according to Aaron Lewis, we're all Americans. So
yeah, my dad says that same thing. He's like, anytime anyone asks you if you're French, you say no, you're fucking American.
he just wants to distance himself from that association.
Yeah, it sucks because my girlfriend's Filipino and she doesn't understand like racist white jokes to white jokes. So I'm like, oh yeah, everyone just shits on me for being French all the time. And then she's like, why? What's so shitty about being French? She literally hung out with like me and some other like white people. The first time I was meeting them, all they did was shit on me for my last name, like the whole time. And I'm like, see, they're fucking racist.
It's easy. It's the low hanging fruit. It's too easy.
Yeah, it's fucking easy.
Going back to your origins, you were a wrestler growing up. Is that correct?
Yeah, I wrestled from like 6th grade to 10th or 11th grade.
Do you like just the physical contact, or do you like the singlet better?
To be honest, I did like wearing the singlet, so I don't know what that makes me, but
aerodynamic. Aerodynamic.
Dude, you get in shape, and then you're like, you know what? This singlet looks pretty fucking good on me.
How many guys did you wrestle that had cauliflower ear, and were you intimidated?
I've wrestled a couple, but like in high school, headgear is mandatory, so not too many people have cauliflower ear.
Would you ever get into MMA?
I did MMA for a little bit. Oh, now no. Yeah. Now no. When I was like 17, yeah, but no, now no. I have. You know how many fake teeth I have? Yeah, like dude, if somebody punches me in the face, it's like gonna cost me thousands. Like.
Side note: the first time I met Austin Bovee was at a show at DeChico's, like right when I first started there. And someone came out to, like, I remember Dave Abkarian or someone was like, don't even recognize this guy. Like, he cut his hair. He he redid his teeth. Like he looks great now. And I'm just looking at him like, yeah, he must have looked like a fucking homeless guy. Must have looked terrible.
I looked like shit, dude. I had really long, scraggly hair. I was missing my front 2 teeth.
You had the Theo Von mullet.
Yeah, but like it was fucking huge. It was really puffy too.
Yes.
So yeah, no, I've cleaned up.
Cleaned up your act a little bit. Was that because your girlfriend, or that was a personal decision?
For the hair or what?
Just cleaning up your act.
Oh no, I mean, while I didn't have the teeth, I was like, dude, I mean, it's not like anyone's gonna hire me without these teeth, so I might as well just fucking embrace it. So I just went full on like just homeless person.
Speaking of jobs, let's go over. You've had a myriad of odd jobs growing up. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely have.
Let's go over some of the crazy ones. I think you were delivering weed at one point.
I delivered and operated and like managed a whole weed delivery service in Pasadena.
Oh yeah, humble brag.
Yeah, humble brag, but also horrible job with a lot of weird scenarios that went down.
Yeah, how many times did you have like just a gun pointed at your face and just robbed at gunpoint?
Just once, one time.
That's all you
Yeah.
need to hide
No,
your dreams.
No, that one was like fairly early on in the weed delivering service. And then after that, they were like, okay, we're not going to do stuff like that anymore. And then I was like, okay, then I guess I'll keep the job. And nothing like that ever happened again.
No more deliveries in South Central.
No. It was just somebody who didn't have a rec, a doctor's recommendation, and an ID. It was like for a lot of money. So they're like, maybe let's see. Well, who knows? And I got robbed. But what was I gonna say about that? Oh yeah, dude, some of the weirdest scenarios ever happened with that job because all I would do all day is just drive around fucking, Pasadena, Glendale, like that whole portion of LA, San Gabriel Valley. I'd drive around that and just deliver to weed, and some of the weirdest stuff happened. Like one time I delivered to this deaf guy and he wanted to smoke with me. So I was like, I can't be a dick and say no. And he could read lips. So it was easy to talk to him.
He could read minds.
So I was like, yeah, I'll smoke with you, whatever. We go up there and I realized I made a mistake because I was like, this is so weird. As soon as I got into his house and I started smoking weed with him, and I realized like he puts on, that show Wipeout?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's like what he watches. And then I was like, I guess that makes sense if you're a deaf guy and can't really understand like the nuances of what's going on. Like, I just want to see people fall too. I get it. But then
he wants to see visual carnage.
Yeah, but I wanted to test if he was deaf or not. So I was like, I realized he could only hear me if he was looking at me reading my lips. So I was just like, I just turned and I was just like, fuck. And then I like looked back over it, no reaction. And I was just like, oh my God, like, dude, it was a weird moment, you know?
Like you creep up right behind his head and you're just like,
well,
fuck shit ass bitch.
Well, it was just weird because like he brought me my own bong, he had his own bong, and then we were just watching Wipeout, and I was like, and I'm with a deaf guy, and I was just like, this is fucking weird, man. Like, no offense to deaf people, obviously, it was just a weird scenario for me.
Dude, he probably got like, if he's deaf, that means his other senses are like super like enhanced. So he's probably seeing like all kinds of shit when he's smoking.
Salamanders.
Fucking infrared beams. So Austin Bovee used to deliver weed. That segues us into our next segment called Smoke Break.
Oh, hell yeah.
Bovee likes cannabis. Show everybody what you're smoking on, Austin.
I'm just gonna hit my bong. It's got a bunch of cats on it because I got cats. I'll go here. I'm gonna go introduce you to one of my cats.
Let's get a pet shout out spotlight. While we're waiting, let's note that Bovee is the second cat guest we've had on, and the first one was Nick Sapaglia. I think they ended up living together at one point, so maybe the cat, him liking cats, was transferred. He's got to get the friskies ready. Pop open that fancy feast.
Bailey, my cats are under the bed, so fuck them. Come here, Bailey. Up, touch. Here's my dog there. Bailey, say hi.
Oh yeah. Let me guess. Bailey is a border collie mix.
Just border collie.
Just straight border collie. Just probably smarter than a lot of the people doing open mics these days, huh?
She actually understands basic joke writing better than most people at the open mic.
Watch out, or keep an eye out for Bailey's podcast dropping soon.
Yeah, it's called The Life of Bailey. She pretty much just talks about what it's like to sleep a lot. She does a lot of sleep studies. She keeps her sleep journals. She's really good at recording dreams. Just weird the fact that so many dreams have to do with eating shit, you know? Like I don't understand that concept of dogs, but hey, that's what she's into.
And hopefully she's wearing her mask.
No, she's just got her face up my cat's shirt's ass right now. Bailey, knock it off. Yeah.
So Smoke Break brought to you by 36 North, the best flower in the Central Valley. By the way, if you happen to have a weed company, go ahead and send it to David Confused. We will smoke it during Smoke Break and give you a shout out. Cheers, brother.
All right. Since we're on a smoke break, and I know you can hear me while you hit that, did you like that design I sent over? Or do you want me to switch some stuff on it? Because I can. I'll work on it.
Austin Bovee is a Photoshop wizard, and we're currently constructing the David Confused new logo. And once we hammer that out, David Confused will then be featured on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. So shameless plug, look for that in all your podcast locations very soon. So Bovee, when did you first start smoking? What do you like to smoke? Indica, sativa? Do you have any crazy stories?
Yeah, I started smoking when I was way too young.
With your dad?
No, middle school. I started smoking when I was like 13.
Did you get peer pressured, or were you like sodding it out?
I was kind of into it. I started smoking when I was 13. Weird stories with it, but a bunch. Obviously, with selling it, there's a lot of weird stories. I want to tell one story, but I'm nervous about. Fuck it, you know what? They'll see it. I don't care. So one time I was delivering weed, and I had always had this idea, like, you know, watching like movies and shit. You're always like, dude, someone always tries to fuck the drug dealer, you know? Like, at least one lady tries to like have sex with me at least once. And then I was just like driving around for like 2-3 years, never had anything like, you know, I've had people flirt with me and shit, but never like had it like thrown in my face until finally one day it happened. And it was such a weird way of it happening, you know? It was
like
never
straight out of a porno. Like you walk in and it's like, hello.
No, not straight out of a porno. Straight out of like a I don't know, like, dude, just so on the spot, like such a weird moment.
Let me guess, she was 35?
No, she was like my age.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I was like 21, like something like that. And then she came up to my car, and she was like, it was like my second time delivering to her. And then she was like, hey, were we supposed to fuck in a movie theater? And it was just the most like off the wall thing I'd ever heard that I couldn't say anything back. I was just like, what? And I just handed her weed. I backed up and just drove away. Like, I was just like, like, couldn't even talk.
Just short circuited your brain. Just
she did. She really did. And then the first thing I could think of, I was like, I just opened my phone and I texted the number I just called, and I was like, did you want to fuck in a movie theater? So I ended up boning that chick like a week later.
In a movie theater.
No, in the back of my car. Worst part was I was cheating on my girlfriend at the time, a different girlfriend than I have. And I got limp because I was just like, I felt so guilty that I got limp, and I was like, I gotta go.
It was over before it even started.
Yeah, it was not my best moment, but yeah, so that's what happened with that one. So yeah, weed has gotten me into some weird situations.
What about like the highest you've ever been, or maybe you taking too many edibles at one time?
The highest I ever been also was a funny story because it saved my ass. I ate like 2 of these brownies that after eating these, I don't mess with edibles anymore. Like even now, I don't. I don't do
one of these stories. Let's hear it.
Yeah, well, no, it was just I took too many, and then I was just falling asleep everywhere, like, and I made my friends take me home, and there was supposed to be like this little kickback thing in a vacant house, a place where the bank owns pretty much, and it's for sale, but it was my buddy's old house, and he had like a key left or some shit, so we were able to get in. Anyway, luckily I got too high and they had to take me home, and I just fell asleep because they ended up having a kickback in there and they all got arrested. And my brother got like tased. Like all of my friends got like tackled and shit because they tried to run. So yeah, it was the highest I've ever been. Also saved my ass.
How many siblings do you have?
Well, I have one full brother. I have a half brother and a half sister, and then I have a half sister and a stepsister.
What did he say about getting tased? I've never met anyone who's been tased before. Is it like he went paralyzed and fucking hit the deck? Did he tell you about it?
Yeah. My mom was a cop, so she's tased all of us before.
All right, give us your firsthand experience. Your review of being tased. Go.
It hurts like fuck at the point of entry, and then your whole body seizes up. Like wherever it hits, it feels like it burns the shit out of you, and then you fucking like seize up, bro. It fucking hurts like fuck. Like it does not feel good.
How long are you paralyzed for on the ground?
It depends on how long they set the thing for.
So with your mom, she set it for the max.
She only set it for like 2 seconds. So you're like, and then you just fall, and then that's about it. So, but there's other ones that like, dude, they go forever.
Your mom's probably a badass because she had to get tased too to be a cop, right?
Yeah, her and my stepdad were both police officers, so they had both been tased, and they, yeah. So they're
it's a family affair.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's dig into some of these questions. Let's give the people what they want. Let's get to know Austin Bovee a little bit more. Finish. Right. Let's jump in a time machine. Let's go back in the past. What is some advice you would give to your 12-year-old self? And then let's go forward. What's some advice you would give your 62-year-old self? Go.
Invest all of your birthday money in like Facebook.
No more Pokemon cards and baseball cards.
Yeah. Literally put all of your money in the stock market and put it all towards like Facebook and like Oracle, just everything like that. Or you know what?
Macintosh.
Yeah, just everything that is now the most big thing ever. That stock's gonna increase exponentially. Just put it in there. Um, what
Bet on
else?
the Warriors.
Yeah. Bet on the Warriors in 2017 and 2018. Um, actually, shit. I would just give him a full list of all the winners and be like, bet on all of these, every single one of these.
There's something called the internet. You're gonna want to
Well, the
invest in
internet
that.
was around when I was 12.
I think it was just starting when we were 12.
Well,
I remember.
social media was just starting when we were 12.
I remember I was like heavy Bear Share and LimeWire phase when I was like 12.
I remember I had just discovered Wikipedia in 5th grade. I was like, damn, this shit's amazing. I just did a full book report on one thing.
So, next question. Finish the sentence. In a previous life, I was.
A panther.
Explain. A Black Panther or a regular Panther?
A white panther. No, I'm joking.
It sounds like a wrestling name.
No, just a regular panther because, god damn, bro, I wanted like, I don't know, I want to kill some shit. I want to fucking, but like for a reason, not just like a human where I'm just killing it for the fun of it. That's not cool. But, for like a panther, that'd be pretty dope. Like to just wrestle down a hog and just like, oh yeah, I got a meal for a week. I don't know. It'd be pretty dope.
You don't really have any natural predators. So you're pretty much just king of the jungle in your own right, kind of.
Yeah, I know. Like stay away from lions and you're fine,
Next question. Name one song that you feel guilty liking. Maybe a little Katy Perry.
No, like
Maybe a little Nickelback.
oh no, there's a lot that I'm thinking of. Like there's some Imagine Dragons songs that I like.
Oh.
Yeah, I know it sucks. I hate it. I know it's bad, but I'm like, it's not. It sounds good, so I can't say it's bad. But anyway, I feel like I could go onto my phone right now and find at least like 8 that I'm like, oh well, come on, come on. I don't know. Yeah, a shitload of stuff. Like a lot of female stuff. I don't.
What?
How do I
Just name
explain
the
it?
genre. Yeah, name the genre.
A lot of pop. I'm into a lot of pop. Oh, yeah. A lot of people think she's so hot and whatever, but I genuinely like Doja Cat's music.
Oh. I think you might not be alone on that.
I think I'm pretty alone for a lot of people.
What is your personal best Halloween costume?
All the year, my mom dressed me and my brother up as clowns like 3 years in a row, but it was honestly each year was better than the last, and the first year was even good because that she was just dope at doing clown makeup, and we looked like cool ass clowns. It was good.
It's one of those. She's like, "Oh, this is sweet. Like, I'm just gonna keep doing. Like, this is better than
Yeah,
I thought." And then the third year,
years in a row.
and then what? The fourth year, you turned 21, so you couldn't do it anymore. I'm just kidding.
No, the fourth year I was 25, and yeah, people started filing reports.
And she started charging you for the makeup.
Well, yeah, I've been buying the makeup.
All right, the next question is probably the most important. How does it feel to be the only Miami Dolphins fan in the state of California?
I'm not. There's a shitload. There's like a surprising amount. Like I didn't know the
Dolphins bars in Baco. That's your hotspot?
Well, surprisingly, the bar down the street from my house does have a Miami Dolphins jersey hanging up, but it's because the guy's from Bakersfield.
Ooh, who was it?
I don't know, some random dude.
They just made him up.
Yeah, yeah, they just bought a jersey.
If there's a Dolphins jersey hanging up there and it's not Dan Marino, then it's made up.
It's not. It wasn't Dan Marino.
Or Wes Welker.
Why would it be Wes Welker? He did more for the fucking stupid Patriots. Who are you a fan of? The Niners?
Cowboys.
Are you serious?
I am.
Oh God,
And I'm not ashamed to admit it.
that is horrible.
No, when I was a little kid, I wanted to be an actual, like, real little cowboy. So I just naturally liked them. Plus, they're winning Super Bowls.
What do you mean a
that
real
helps.
little cowboy? Like you wanted to be a little cowboy?
Like literal cowboy.
Oh, I thought you said little cowboy. I wanted to be a real little cowboy.
I wanted to be a PBR bull rider.
Oh, I see.
Next question. If you had the ability to save one endangered animal, what would it be and why?
Insects, because they're dying at a crazy amount, and it sucks. I hope that we don't kill off all the bees. I hope all the wasps die. Fuck wasps.
The murder hornets.
Yeah, I hope they all die, but I hope bees live forever.
Save the bees. You gotta you had to be more specific with that because all insects, that's too broad. The bees I fuck with.
Yeah, bees. Save the bees.
What is the weirdest thing that people don't know about you?
I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty open with like the weirdness about me. I don't know, because nothing. That's the weirdest thing that people don't know is that I have nothing to hide. You know.
He's an open book, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, what you see is what you get, motherfucker.
Okay, this next segment, we do it for everyone, but it's called Roast of Austin Bovee.
Oh yeah, here we go.
We were supposed to be in an online online roast.
Yeah, it never happened.
Months ago, and it never happened. So I'm just gonna touch some of the highlights really quick.
Go for it.
Because I was assigned to Bovee. Ready? Hey, is that a salamander dressed like a human for Halloween? No, it's Bovee. Boom, roasted. He kind of looks like Leo DiCaprio if he had just worse facial features. Boom, roasted. His style is like a lesbian lumberjack the first time she goes to a Metallica concert. Boom, roasted. That's the end.
The salamander one kind of hurt.
That's a compliment in my book. Salamanders were fucking badass. I have to ask you through my research. Is it true that some woman called you a beaner one time?
Oh yeah, yeah.
How did that even happen? You're not even Hispanic at all, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not. It's fucking annoying.
Did you deserve it? That's the main question.
No, I was just outside. Like I was outside after a comedy open mic, and we were all just talking and stuff. And this homeless lady walks by, and then she starts like talking shit to my friend. And then like I say something, and then she looks at me, and then she's like, "Shut the fuck up, beaner." And then I was like, "What?" I was just like, "All right," like. And it was weird because the friend I was with, the one she was originally arguing with, was Mexican, but she called me. It just made it made no sense.
Just guilty by association. You could pass for like light-skinned Spanish. I could see that.
Yeah, a lot of people always think I'm Spanish, and I don't understand why. I'm French. Okay, get it right.
Maybe a little Argentinian. I can see that.
Whatever.
We're the David Confused podcast is tolerant of all races and creeds and religions.
Yeah. Right.
So let's go ahead and wrap it up. Austin Bovee, thanks for coming on. Tell everyone where they can see you.
So tomorrow night, you can go on to either my Facebook page, Austin Bovee, just one fucking name, or you could go to Full Circle Brewing Company. They will be live streaming the comedy show that I'll be on. I think I'll be opening it up probably because I think Tanya and Dave are splitting the hosting duties, so they'll probably have me open.
Nice.
I'll be opening that show up. Check it out. I'm on there with some funny other comedians. Other than that, you can find me at Austin Bovee on Instagram. You can find me Austin Bovee Facebook. Facebook's where I post most of my shit for comedy stuff, and Instagram's where it's more personal, but still comedy stuff on there too. But yeah, that's about it for me. My girlfriend just passed her drug test to get her new job, so that's cool.
Let's go.
Yeah, now that means I gotta buy her lunch. So I'm glad I got paid yesterday. I'm glad it's all going away already. This is beautiful. This is quarantine, baby.
You had to treat her to that Firestone in Bakersfield.
Yeah, I would, but it's all to go. So that means I got to Uber Eats it, which means I got to pay $20 more than I normally fucking would.
Yep. So I'll post all those links that he just shouted out in the description. Austin Bovee, thank you again, my man, for coming on.
Oh yeah, man. I'll be talking to you.
Until next time. Peace.
All right. Later, dude.